All right, so let's do this piece next. So just grab it, go in isolation mode, and we have turbo smooth applied again. So let's just drop that to 1 iteration, uncheck isoline, and we have this strange topology here, and that's just because of the way we quadded up the center. So it's not ideal. If you look at it without the edges turned on, by hitting F4 with the turbo smooth applied, you can see there's actually that dimple I was talking about before. It's like a flat spot. So if you want to take a few extra seconds, you might want to come in and just remove these polygons here, and then just add a couple more loops of resolution, just using shift and dragging on the border selection. Close that up, and then maybe move the verts out a little bit just so it's more of a smooth curve all the way to the center, and that'll probably get rid of that flat spot. It's not major, so I'm not going to worry about it just for the sake of speed, but that'll be up to you. If you want to clean it up, you can. I'm just going to leave it at 1 iteration and collapse it down to poly, and we'll just map it with the weird topology. And I'm going to planar map the front, so that really won't matter. All right, so just to throw the unwrap on, and let's turn off our map seams. And I'm just going to cut off the front, so I'm going to grab that center corner edge again, loop it, and convert it to a seam. And then let's just split it down here at the bottom with point-to-point seam. Okay, so just click on one of the verts along the seam and just connect it up to the back edge, like that. And that's all we need to do for this piece. So let's turn off point-to-point, go to face, and just grab one on the front, expand it. We'll just planar map this. Okay, so click it on and off, or use quick planar map if you want. And then we'll just cylindrical map the sides. So expand your selection, cylindrical map it. If the gizmo doesn't line up properly, just change the align options here to a different axis until you get this result, and then turn it off. And then chuck on the checker pattern. All right, let's open up the editor window. Turn off our background, and we'll just pull this out of the way so we can see, and it's probably going to have broken verts again. Let's check. Yeah, it does. So just go to vertex, make sure you don't have element turned on, and just zoom in here. Grab these 3 pairs of verts here and just weld them. Okay, and then we'll turn element and face back on, change our scale to the non-uniform horizontal one, and just squash it. And keep an eye on it over here, right, until they're fairly square. And if you want to, you can run the relax on it. Probably really doesn't matter for this piece, so I'm just going to leave it alone, and let's maybe just relax the front. So just open up relax, change your mounts, and select face angles, and we'll just relax this chunk down. Okay, and you can do this one if you want to. It might bend a little bit if you do. So just give it a second. And that should be good. So we'll just close the relax tool. I'm just going to make sure I don't have any of my pieces selected. I'm going to hit the rescale elements again. And then let's see if we can stitch this back together. So I'm just going to go to edge, turn off by element, and let's just grab a center edge on the strip here. Okay, again, you can always see that that's the corresponding side. So just right click and stitch selected. Put it back together, and then we'll just select it by element and drag it and drop it over here somewhere. And that takes care of that piece. So let's close up our rollout, change the color from black to blue, and we'll just exit here. Take a look. That's probably fine. So we're just gonna have to replace our unmapped versions of it over here. So let's just grab actually all 4 of these pieces. Just gonna turn this off. So just control click the other 3. And with those 4 selected, just hit Alt Q, go in isolation mode, and we'll just make some copies of our mapped one again. So let's just select it, shift drag it on the X. Let's do 3 copies. And just make sure you have copy checked, hit OK. And we're just going to replace these ones with these ones. So let's start with the end one here, and we'll just use the align tool. So I'm going to click on this unmapped one down here. I want to do this on the X, Y, and Z, and just make sure you tick on center and center again, and then say OK. All right, and then we'll have to get rid of the one that's not mapped. So I'm just going to select it until I see the black one up here. We know that's not the mapped one, so we'll delete that. Okay, and for these 2, we're going to have to put them over here. We might have to mirror it so it's facing in the right direction, so let's just do that first. So just select it, hit mirror. Mirror it on the X-axis with no clone, and say OK, and that's just going to flip it around so it's facing in the right direction like these ones. All right, let's cancel that. Let's make sure we're doing it on the right one, which is this one. Okay, mirror that one, and okay, and then we'll just align it to that one, and grab this one and align it to this one. And then we'll just trash those black unmapped ones. Okay, so just select it when you see the black color, delete it, and delete it. Okay, so everything's facing the right direction. We only have 4 objects, and we'll just exit. So that takes care of those ones. So let's move on to the next piece. May as well just keep working our way up the arm here. So I'm going to grab the next chunk of it, this piece right here, and let's drop our triple smooth again, turn off isoline. And we'll pretty much have to do this the same way we did that other bracket at the start. So let's just convert it to poly with 1 iteration applied, and let's see if we can get rid of a few edges like we did before. So we'll just go to edge, and I'm just going to take out maybe these 2 here on the flat part of it on both sides. So control click those 4 and loop them, and just control backspace them, get rid of them. And we'll see if we can take out the same 3 center edges on either side like we did before. So I'll just grab these ones, loop, and get them out of there. Control backspace. Alright, so exit edge, we'll throw the unwrap on now. Let's drop into edge. And let's get rid of those ugly map seams by unchecking it. And let's just cut off the arm here. So I'm going to do it the exact same way. I'm just going to grab this edge where that corner point is, just like on the other piece. Control click those 2, loop them, and just follow it around. So we need to get that one, and we need to get this one. Okay, and then convert it. And for the outsides here, we don't have any inner faces on our holes, so let's just grab a corner edge on either side holding control, loop those, and convert them. And then we'll just split it somewhere here. Let's maybe do it, let's just do it in the center this time. Alright, so we'll go back to point and turn our edges, and I'm just going to maybe do it right here. And you can do it somewhere else if you want. If you want to do it on the corner like we did before, you can. This might unfold a little bit easier because this little strip is going to be a little bit shorter than it was the first time, so that's why I'm changing the position. Okay. And we probably want to have these even, so I'm just going to actually change the position of this one. I'm going to move it up a loop just so they're centered and even on both sides, and I'm going to go to edit seams and just unselect or deselect these ones holding Alt. Okay, just so both sides match, and then we'll just split the shaft of it somewhere. So let's do it, I guess, on the corner again. It's probably the best spot. So grab that corner point again, and just come all the way down the corner of it. Okay, so let's see how this goes. So let's go to polygon, and we'll just start on the arm of it. Expand our selection. I'm just going to use a peltier again, like we did before. And commit, and move up to the body of it. Cylindrical map it. Again, if the gizmo's screwed up, just align it on the x-axis and then turn it off. And we'll just planar map both of the cap pieces. So expand it, planar map it, and do the same on this side. Okay, so this won't be nearly as bad as the first piece we did. It's much more simple, so let's just turn on face and by elements. All right, just pull these over here. And let's fix our broken verts again. So I'm going to go back to vertex, turn off by element, and just zoom in here. And we'll just drag a selection, holding control all the way up the side of this piece. And weld. And I think that should be all I have to do. So let's go back to element, turn on face, and we'll just start relaxing our pieces here and see what happens. So again, I'm going to use face angles, crank the iterations in the amount tab. Do both the cap pieces first. It might be a good idea to actually throw our checker pattern on here as well so you can see what's going on. So let's just drag and drop it. Move this out of the way so you can see. And let's grab this piece, which is the arm, and just relax that down. A couple times, that's good. And then we'll do the main piece. And we'll just give it a second here. Hopefully, because we moved the seam, it'll unfold a little bit easier than before. All right, let's try face angles or edge angles again. See what happens. All right, switch back to face and just straighten it out the rest of the way. That's pretty good. So let's just close this up, and I'm going to unselect everything and just hit the rescale options again. And then we'll just kind of organize this. So let's just maybe stick this piece here. I'm going to flip this one around so it's facing in the right direction. And we'll just put our two end little pieces just like that or something for now. Okay, and that's all I really need to do for this one. So let's just drag and drop it down here. Close up the window, exit the rollout. All right, turn that off, and we'll just take a quick look. And I think that came out pretty good. So let's put another iteration of Turbo Smooth on top. That looks good. So let's just change our color, exit, and that's fine. All right, so let's definitely do a save again. So on to the next one. Let's grab this, Alt Q, and we have two iterations applied to this as well. So let's just start by unchecking the ice line display. I'm just going to hit F4 here, and I just want to make sure we have enough resolution. You can see it's a little bit rough looking. If we took it up to 3 iterations, it would smooth that out probably perfectly. It looks like it would, but I think that's going to be, kind of overkill for this piece. So let's just leave it at 2. And even though it looks a little rough when you're up close, when you're back like this and you're looking at the whole model, it's going to look smooth enough. So we'll just leave it alone. Drop it to 1, uncheck ice line, and we'll just convert it. And we'll just map it with the 1 applied. So this shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. I think we can probably do it in 3 chunks. So that's what I'm going to try. So let's just put the unwrap on. And let's go to edge here. I'm going to try to maybe cut off the top and the sides as one piece, and then the inside as another one, and then the outside as a third one. So let's see if that works. So we'll just zoom in on the corner again. I'm going to grab a center edge loop of those 3 edges. And let's also do it up here as well. And we'll loop that. Actually, let's undo that for a sec. Let's just grab this one here maybe instead and loop that. All right, we just want it to follow around. Okay, it's going to stop over here, so we're going to have to do it on the opposite corner as well. So just grab this edge and this one and loop those. And just check and make sure it follows all the way around. That looks good, so we'll just convert that to a seam. And we're going to do the same thing on the inside here. So zoom in again, turn on our edges, and just grab a center edge. One up here as well. Loop those. And it's only going to go halfway, so we'll go around to the opposite corner again and just control click 2 more and loop them. All right, we don't want any following down the sides here. We just want it to go around the shape. Okay, and then convert it, and I think that's all we really need to do. So we'll see if it unfolds correctly. It might not, but we'll just go to polygon. We'll grab a face on the outside, expand our selection. I'm just going to use pelt maps for all 3 of these, so we'll just open that up, pull it out, and commit, and we'll move to the next piece. And this one should have all the outside faces selected, and then just pelt that. And if we have a problem with any of them, it's probably going to be this piece, but we'll see how it goes. So we'll just move to the center, grab those, and pull them out. All right, so just 3 pieces, pretty simple. Let's throw the checker on, turn off our background here in the window, and we'll see how this goes. So let's just pull our pieces out. Again, let's turn on by element. And we'll open up the relax tool, put our mount and our iterations up, and just use face angles again. And I think these ones should go probably fine. So let's try it. And that's working good. So let's do it a couple times, and let's try the inside of the hole or the slot. And that's going to work as well, which is good. So let's just rotate it a little straighter and then just relax it down a couple times, and we'll see how it goes with this one. And we have some thin little strips of faces here, so it might take a few tries. It's actually not working bad. All right, so again, I'm just going to rotate it so it's kind of straight, and we'll just hit it a couple more times. And I want this to be fairly straight because I'm going to try to actually stitch it onto another one of these pieces. So As you can see, it's kind of bent, so let's maybe just turn off by element here and just click off so we don't have any poly selected. I'm just going to grab maybe half of this and actually just move it manually. Okay, so just move it forward a little bit just so it kind of straightens it out. And then we'll just grab the whole piece again and just try another relax on it and see if that helps. All right, that's probably good enough. I don't want to spend too much time doing it. So zoom out, just click off so you don't have any pieces selected, and we'll rescale. And we'll see if we can put these back together. So let's zoom in on the piece here, and I'm just going to grab two edges on the outside, two green ones holding control, and we'll loop. Okay, and it should light up over here that it's corresponding, and then we'll just stitch selected. Okay, and the inside there we can't really put in anywhere, so I'm just going to leave that separate. I'm going to grab this piece with element turned on and just relax one more time. And for the inside here, let's just maybe put that just at the other end for now. Okay, just straighten it out a little bit better. That's good enough. So we'll close relax, we'll grab our piece, and let's just drop it down here. We're getting a lot of stuff piled up, but that's okay. We'll worry about it later when we get to that part. So I'm just going to close the window, exit the roll up, turn off the map seams. Just take a look. Let's put another turbo smooth on, make sure everything's going to be okay. And I think that's fine. That looks good. So let's change our mesh color again to blue, and we'll exit. And I think that should work just fine. All right, so let's do another save here. So before we move on to the next piece, one thing I did forget to do was add the other iteration of Turbo Smooth on these pieces, so I'm just going to do that quickly. So let's just select one and chuck a Turbo Smooth on it. I'm actually going to copy the modifier, so just right click on Turbo Smooth, copy it, and then we'll just paste it onto the other three. So right click and paste, and we'll go around to this side and do the same thing. Paste it on. All right, just to get it back to the full resolution that we had before we mapped it. And then we'll just move on to the next piece. So these ones up here are basically the same as these, the only difference being they have this little strip of back faces here. So if you want to, you can just reuse the piece we just mapped. The reason I have these back faces on here is just so there's a little bit of a separation between this piece and the plate. So we'll get a little bit of a gap in there. And we didn't need that on the other pieces down here, so that's why I didn't put the back faces on. So I'm just going to actually leave it with those faces. I'm just going to remap it. So that'll be up to you. If you want to save some time, you can reuse it, but I'm just going to do it quickly here. So we'll do it the same way as before, just lower our iterations to 1. Get rid of the ice line display, and then we'll put the unwrap on. So actually, let's collapse it first to poly. Check the unwrap on, and we're just going to cut off the front and back. So let's go to edge, and we'll just grab a corner edge on the front, and control click one on the back. And again, I'm just aiming for that center of the 3 edges. Do a loop, convert into a seam, and then we'll just come around underneath and just connect them up. So let's use point to point for that. And we'll just go one seam to the other. All right, just get rid of those map seams as well. So basically like that, and let's go to face, just grab a poly on the front, expand it. We'll do a quick planar wrap here. Go around to the back, do the same thing. Planar wrap it, and then we'll just use a cylindrical map on the outside again. So let's expand our selection, cylindrical map it, and turn it off. All right, let's get the checker pattern on there and open up our editor and turn off our background. And we're going to need to weld up our verts again, so I'm just going to move this over to the side so we can see a bit better. And we'll go to vertex, turn off synced element, and we'll just drag it right down the side, grab all the verts along that broken edge, and just weld them quickly. And I'm going to turn element back on and just pull the pieces out. And we'll open up the relax tool. Again, up our mounts, use face angles, and we'll just relax the front down quickly. And then the back. And then these ones. Just going to let it untwist quickly. If you didn't want to have to relax these ones, you could just do it with the scale like we did on the other pieces. I'm just going to use the straighten selection here, just to make it a little quicker. Either way, it'll give you pretty much the same result. All right, so just relax it down. And once you get them all flattened out, we'll just rescale again. And let's just turn off element, grab edge, and we're just going to stick the front back onto the sides. So I'm just going to grab a center edge there and stitch selected. Put the side back onto the back. I don't think I'm going to attach. I'm just going to actually just stick it behind it. So we'll just grab the whole chunk. Just move it to the back here. And let's just scale this down maybe a little bit uniformly so it's not so massive. And then we'll just drop it over here again. And that's it for that piece. So let's exit phase, close up our rollout. Remember to put the turbo smooth on again. One more iteration. And just leave that unchecked isoline display. And let's just change our color to blue, and we'll exit. And we're going to need a copy for the other side here, so let's just do that quickly. So I'm just going to mirror this. We'll do it on the X this time. I want to do a copy, so just check that on and say OK. And we'll come around to the other side, just use the align tool again, and align it to the unmapped version. All right, again, you want to do X, Y, and Z, center, center, and OK. And then we'll just select that unmapped one. And again, it'll have the black mesh color. Just delete it out of there. Okay, and one thing I'm going to do here is just get rid of this checker pattern. It's a little bit distracting, so let's just grab all our pieces here. And I'm just going to put a gray shader on, just so I have to look at it on our pieces. And that's, again, why I'm changing the mesh colors, so we can see exactly what we've mapped so far, even if we have the same material applied to both. Okay, so that takes care of the arm. Finally, we're going to move into the center, and I think we're going to start working up here next. So let's just do a save quickly.